Welcome to the Resonate Church Missoula podcast. This podcast exists to equip and encourage the members of Resonate Church to get the gospel to people, people to community, and community to mission. Thanks for listening. In this episode, I sat down with Austin Lueck to talk about the first day of Month of Welcome. Hope you enjoy. All right, so Austin, how was move-in day? We're out on the Oval, day 2, looking at all these freshmen. How was the day yesterday?
It was good, man. It was so good. Move-in's always so fun. It's always so energetic, and this year it's probably one of the highest energy years we've had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So many students came out to help. I think that our vision was clear this year, that this is so important, and people knew it. Students knew it. Our owners knew it.
Right.
Our leaders knew it, and we were there. We were hyping up all the other groups that were helping. We had a presence. You couldn't go anywhere on campus and not see someone in a Resonate t-shirt yesterday, and that's fun. That's just so fun to be a part of that. To feel like you have your community alongside you and people backing you to help you meet people. And the university has gotten better every year, and that was helpful. I think that
Better in their relationship with us.
Yeah, they love us. They love us now. Some of them love us now. But I think we're really helpful. I think regardless of if they love our message and I think they know we're helpful, they can dependable.
Right.
We do the same thing every year, so they can count on us.
We were by far the largest non-compulsory group of move-in.
Yeah.
ROTC is big and sports teams are big, fraternity, sorority is big, but in terms of totally voluntary move-in groups, I only saw a couple of them out there. Period. And we had 25, 30 people volunteering throughout the day.
Yeah, and it was so fun. The advocates is the biggest group out here. They're the ones that sort of lead all of the activities this first week, and we're racing them. We're racing advocates to get to people's cars, and the university has done a really good job of, I think, organizing and getting people spread out throughout the day, because I feel like move-in used to be just exhausting. 2 hours from 11 to 1, you're breaking a sweat, can't talk to anyone. But this year it was steady trickle. All year students come in. You didn't feel rushed. You could sit and talk to someone, get to know them, help them a couple times, and you didn't feel like you were missing people. And so I think a lot of our students were. I think because the university figured out how to make it more efficient, our students are probably way more likely to come back next year, because it was tiring, it was a long day, but it wasn't exhausting like it used to be. So.
Sometimes it can be miserable.
Yes.
Out there.
Yeah.
That's good. I've sensed the same thing with the university. Their appreciation of us, almost against their will, they've been forced to recognize that we throw the biggest events on campus.
Yeah.
And it's even more than that. When I was talking to the dean, she actually talked to me about students that get involved in your group are better for our university. They're better students, they're more involved, they're more likely to stay enrolled. Your group is actually good for students, even apart from the spiritual religious component. So I think they've been forced to reckon with that over the years. And maybe someday we could even partner. We'll see.
You mentioned that the week before we were coming on campus, so I was walking up to all the fraternity and sorority people on campus, and I was sparking up a conversation with them, just how's rushing, how's meeting people, and I like to sneak it in there. It's hey, did you actually know our church is bigger than the whole Greek system on campus? And none of them were shocked. So they all said, yeah, that makes sense. And so when the Greek system knows that we're more popular than them, I think that's a good issue.
Was that more of a compliment to us or a self-insult to the Greek system?
I guess that's really about delivery. It really depends on how you deliver that.
A
couple of them, you could have taken it either way.
Well, I had the same analysis yesterday. I was really encouraged. More student buy-in than we've ever had. We had volunteers everywhere. How did you think, we got into the evening glow-in-the-dark volleyball. We've done that event before. 2 years ago we did that. What'd you think about this year?
Our Monday night event has always sucked.
Terrible. We had 25 people last year.
And it is it's hard because the university has, this whole first week, the university is asking the students to do so much, and it's pretty unique to our campus. All the other campuses across our network have a little bit different experience, but ours is for sure the most strict on what they want. And so those Monday nights, they have a ton of dorm meetings that they have to go to. So that it's like 8 p.m. They have to be there for an hour, or else I don't know, they flunk out the semester. Who knows? And
empty threats.
Yeah, who knows what they threaten them with? But we were out there. We were handing out flyers, just telling everyone, hey, everything we're gonna do is gonna be so hype. Come on out. I think at one point we counted like 168 students, and that was probably after a little bit of the fall off.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I was guessing we probably had at least 250 come through and play a little bit or get some ice cream last night.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, just when I showed up, it started at 8 p.m. and I think I showed up right at 8, and it was sort of in our benefit. All of the dorm meetings were out there because it looked like it looked huge. Right. The whole oval was full of people, and I was like, what are these people doing out here? I'm going to stick around. And you definitely saw some people linger in and checking it out. And yeah, I think the one thing our team, we did a little debrief this morning with all the students, and one of the things we were all reflecting on is like the event we threw sucked. Like the volleyball stopped working, the lights, it wasn't lit up. You could barely see. After 30 minutes, no one could actually play volleyball, but there were still people playing volleyball. There's still people hanging out our tent, eating ice cream, socializing. Well into like 11 o'clock. Like we had to kick people out. Like people left because we were taking down the block rockers. We were taking down the nets. And I mean, we still probably had 100 people out there at 11 o'clock. And so that we maybe go into something like we are recognizing this student class as like social, not afraid of church. Like they maybe not stoked, maybe don't even know what church is about, but they're not afraid of it, right? They don't have a bad taste in their mouth, or they're not TikTok hasn't influenced them to think all Christians are bigots. So a lot of interest in community, a lot of interest in spirituality, like trying to explore. Yeah, I'm down to explore who God is, you know, and so it was cool because we had our tent out there last night and people were standing underneath it, just hanging out. So we're praising God for that. It
was a good time. We went through 10 gallons of ice cream.
Wow.
So that's always a good thing.
It's an average Tuesday in some of my friends' houses.
Don't name names. I felt the same thing. Looking around at the logistics of the event, it was subpar.
Yeah.
You know, the equipment's bad and all that stuff. But what you start to figure out is fun is derived from your attitude way more than the actual event. Yeah. So if students are there and they're excited and they're happy, it rubs off on everybody, and then everybody's excited, even if the event is not actually very good. Yeah. So I think having an excited core group of students has been a game changer for us this year. And then I felt the same thing, just kind of transitioned into the next topic or the next question. What are you seeing in the students that are moving in this year? I've felt the same thing, that not all of them are interested in church, although a lot of them are. Yeah. But even the ones who aren't interested, they're not hostile. They're not super skeptical. They don't assume the worst about you right away for the most part. And I was wondering, I listened to some of Mark Sayer's podcast recently where he talked about we are shifting, especially in highly liberal places, progressive places, we're shifting from a post-Christian world where people have been affected by Christianity and then have left it and they're antagonistic toward Christianity, to more of a post-secular world where they have no reference for Christianity. All they've experienced is the chaos of secularism, and they're starting to realize there's got to be something more going on here. So then they become pretty open to spiritual things, even if they don't know anything about them. Yeah. Is that similar to what you're sensing as you go out on campus?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I absolutely. I think a couple of the markers are interest. Like, hey, I work for church. You know, it comes up in the first 10 seconds of every conversation. I just throw it out there. Right. And yesterday, no one's trying to run away from that conversation. You know, like people are down to talk about their experiences with church, but most people are pretty ignorant at church. Like even the ones that had some more experience with church, they still ignorant. They're like, it really didn't mean anything for me. Right. So I think that's helpful. So yeah, I think you're spot on. It was way easier just to talk to people too. And it could be a little bit of that post-secular culture, but also just that post-COVID culture. Yeah. You know, like
the return of social norms and because these kids, they would have been 8th graders during COVID or something like that.
Or even younger,
8th
I think.
Or 9th. Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
So yeah, they didn't have as many of those formative social years in COVID nonsense.
Yeah, and man, even last year, like we finally met some students last year who are just normal, just can hold a conversation, can, ask good questions and are interested, and I feel like it's even more this year. Like it just feels like there's even more, and maybe that's just because we do have so many students who are around, because like the peer drawing your peers in is definitely a reality, and so I think that I had a conversation with a student today, a new student today. He walked up. He's from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, so that might be helpful for the context. But he walked up to me. He's like, "Can you guys just tell me like what's going on this campus? Like, how do you you guys are Christian, right? Like, how do you survive out here?" He was just like, he just recognized there's an era on campus, which maybe this is tangential maybe to what we were saying, but so there definitely is still a like, maybe what I'm trying to say is like he could tell it's very secular.
Yeah.
And so that when we started talking about this post-secular stuff, I think that's what we're getting at, is like before you have to be post-Christian, you have to enter secular, and before you can be post-secular, you have to be secular. And so he's just looking around, he's like, it's so secular out here, like, and he didn't use that word, but I was like, man, let's talk about that. Like, let's go get coffee. Let's talk about that. He's like, yeah, let's, like, because I think he had some good values. I asked him about his church background. He's like, good values. He doesn't have this deep spiritual thought yet, but his recognition that our town is so secular, just wants to fuel the flesh, and
particularly everything about campus culture in this first week, everything they're shoving down their throats is entirely secular.
I even probably in some of the orientation material, he didn't explicitly say that, but I'd imagine.
I remember it from being a freshman in college.
Wow.
Yeah, it totally was. Yeah. Okay, so one other story I thought of yesterday. We were tabling, we're handing out snow cones, and this gal walks up to the table, and she was one of the kind of person that you can tell by her appearance she's not interested in church, but Haley did a great job. She said, "Hey, are you looking for a church as you come to campus?" And she thought for a minute, and she said, "Not yet." And I thought that was a really strange and interesting moment of almost like a self-awareness that I'm here in college, I'd like to screw around for a little while. At some point, I'm going to get tired of screwing around, and then I'll be interested in church. Like, I got to get my college experience in before I'll come to church. And I'd never heard anything like that. I'd never heard students. I know that they do that, but I had never heard someone be aware enough to say it.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. Okay, what are you seeing, not just in the students here, but our student leaders? We've already talked about some of their excitement and enthusiasm, but what do we have going on?
Yeah, that's a good question. Got nothing but praises and excitement. We had almost 40 students apply to be part of leadership this year, and when you have a lot of people apply and then you send them a list of things you're asking them to do after that, you're not paying them, you're like, they're probably not going to show up to anything. And so that has not been the case. That's what we're so excited about. It's like this morning we did contact debriefing, so one of the most exciting things we do in the month, and we're just entering numbers, data tracking, and helping people do follow-ups. And we had 20 people there, and I was shocked.
Usually we can't even get our staff there.
All the staff was late besides me, but all of our students were on time.
For the first time, you were on time.
Whoa. Gotta set a culture, right? So, not all of our staff. Anyway, it was, and people were excited. They're excited to be there, excited to plan, figure out, and pray together. We prayed for quite a bit of time together and share stories. I mean, it's one of the most enriching things. I wish I could sitting there just like, man, I wish I could record these stories. Yeah. Like, I wish I could have, there's 3 dozen people I would love to be at this table where I'm at right now, just hearing how much fun they're having, connecting with people, hearing about spiritual conversations. There's a girl who's close to giving her life to Jesus, been a long-term, like, being pursued by one of our staff members for like 3 years, sort of super on the fringes, very against God. And then another one of our students who's in a group here on campus, connected with her last year in that same group, really pursued her throughout the year. And like last night that same staff member got to share the gospel with her at ice cream, and the girl who received the gospel share on her drive home calls the student who she was connected to in the student group and just like was like, I gotta talk to someone about Jesus. And like 2 years ago, that student was cursing the name of God constantly, mad at God for whatever had happened in her life. And so just a huge spiritual barrier broken through in a student. First day on campus, you know, and it's just like, wow, what else do you have in store for us? That's really what it felt like this morning, that all the students were looking around, what is in store for us, God, this week? And so we're just continuing to try to build momentum around that morning debrief. It's so enriching to get to hear stories, and you just remember, like, we're on team. Like, even if I had no stories, like, so-and-so had a story, or my village leader had a story, or the person I'm leading had a story, and it's like, oh, wow, like, I get to participate in those stories, even though I'm not directly the person in that. And that, I think that we've never done something like this on a daily debrief, and we told them all that, and after today's, I think we'll just have continued attendance to that. It was so enriching this morning. So
good. Yeah, that's great to hear. I've said this over and over, but we're seeing way more student leader enthusiasm and buy-in than we ever have.
Oh yeah.
I think Elevate set us up really well. All of our students had a great year, and we sent a lot of them there. I think Elevate is a game changer.
Every year.
We have got to figure out how to get more students to Elevate, because no one has ever regretted it, and it has never not changed someone's life after going. So we got to figure out how to get more students to Elevate. And then they all come back excited. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
They get all their friends involved, and here we are.
Yeah.
We're seeing cool stuff.
Such a joy.
All right, so just to wrap us up, what do we need to focus on these next few days? We're through move-in day. We're into some different rhythms now.
Yeah, that's good.
What's the focus?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think one of the things that stands out is God has been so good to us. We've already touched base on this, but we're the coolest thing happening on campus.
Right.
And don't say that out of pride. Just straight out of humility. Like, that is not our doing, right? Like, obviously we have some pretty cool systems, and we've learned from all the churches across our network. But what is fascinating is that a little bit of a tangent, but it could be our culture on campus. Like, people are cliquey. You meet your 2 or 3 friends, and that's who you hang out with the rest of your time in college. And I've been on a lot of college campuses. It's nothing like that. I don't know. You're meeting new people all the time. You're expanding your friend groups constantly. And so the way God has ordained us to just be the coolest thing happening this week is insane. And so I think what we need to double down on this week is, at our events, just really making sure that we're continuing to cast this wide net. Like, we're going to have new people showing up to these events. It's not just going to be people we're inviting. Every person I sat down with today on campus, I was like, oh, did you hear about glow-in-the-dark softball last night? And they're all like, oh, yeah, totally. I was like, oh, we did that.
Volleyball? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we did glow-in-the-dark volleyball last night. I was like, we did that. And they're like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah, we're doing swing dancing tonight. Come through. Yeah. And everyone's down to receive the flyer. And I heard so many students yesterday as we were handing out flyers say they went to go hand a flyer to someone, and they're like, I already have 2 of them. So I think just doubling down on the evangel. I think a lot of times it's easy to just like, hey, I invited some people to this event, and I just want to hang out with them while I'm at that event. So I think just like continuing to refocus and remember that actually so many people are coming to our events because of this momentum we had.
Right.
I think that's God opening the door for us to find the people he wants to find. Right? Someone's going to trickle in an event on Thursday that we haven't talked to all week, and we're going to be able to connect with them, and we're going to be able to see them come to the Lord because of the momentum and the gravity our events are having. And so it's my encouragement to our students is like, just continue to turn on the evangelism muscle when you're out. And I just had this thought too, share the gospel. I think it's so crucial for us to not just focus on numbers, not just focus on being hype. I think that's the double-edged sword of the place that God has us right now. Is like, we're so big, we're so hype, anyone will come to anything, and but we can lose, if we lose the gospel, we'll lose the potency. Right? And so
that's the one thing about us that makes us different than everything else on campus.
Yeah.
We have a message they need to hear. Everybody else is just come for the party, come for the hype, come for the good time. Yeah.
And there's not even much of that on campus.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But I think if we can just continue a bold gospel proclamation and continued evangelist muscle these next 6 events that we have in the evening, or through Saturday.
Yep.
I just think that we're gonna, our next 2 weeks, 3 weeks after that, we're gonna just see fruit beyond what we can picture.
Right.
So
yeah, it's always, you have a good move-in day, you meet a few people. The temptation is, I want to invest in these 3 people. I met 3 cool dudes. I'm going to invite them, hang out with them, spend time with them, and you have to resist that pull and instead say, I have to cast a wide net. I don't know where these 3 guys are going to be in a month, but I need to get 20 guys in my orbit so that once they whittle themselves down, now I have a discipleship group. Now I have a village.
Yeah.
And that's hard for a lot of people to do. But
and to add to that too, it's we're not doing it alone. When we sat down to debrief this morning, there's 7-8 students who all the guys are connected to. So we're all buddies with him. We're all going to say hi to him at all of our events. He thinks he's the coolest thing in the world because we all know him, right? And so allow those webs of relationships to continue to draw people in while you continue to look for the people who are yet to be connected, right? And have eyes for the people who are searching. Because God's going to continue to bring those other students around.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking yesterday during volleyball, since we are all such good friends, the most fun thing to do is just to stand in a group of 3 or 4 of us, of our resonate people, and we have to resist that temptation and instead go stand in a group that is more awkward, less fun. It's hard to resist, but we just got to meet new people during these. This is such a crucial week, especially, and these opportunities are going to pass us by soon. It's good.
It's going to be great. Praise God for where we've been and where we're heading, and keep praying for boldness in our students. Keep praying for peaceful relationships with the university. This year's probably we're approaching a relationship with the university where it's I probably can't do those things. Where in the past it's been we could do whatever we want. Now it's let's be a little wiser.
We're becoming so big that it's really on their radar.
We have to be a little bit wiser with that. So pray for wisdom in our students and bold gospel proclamation and endurance and energy. They're young, they have it, they just don't know they have it.
Right. That's good. Is there anything else you'd want to say to our people, our owners, about this first day before we close out?
I go back to Vision Sunday before we launched. I was in the room. I think a lot of us, we were all there, and the sense I got at Vision Sunday, it just felt different. It was so good. I teared up probably 8 times on that panel. Just thinking about the years of memories with people and friends, and I just thought, there's no community that has just spent so much time and life together, and I think that we're just getting to see it again. In 8 years, all these students are gonna get that opportunity again to have what we've experienced, and it is. What a joy to get to be. I've been doing some support raising, and anytime I sit down and talk to someone, I get share what we're doing. They're like, "You're on the front lines." I'm so jealous of where you're at. So jealous of what you're doing, and that's where our whole church is on the front lines. We are all you get to meet 20 new people every week at church, or you get to see 20 new people at church. No one gets that,
right?
And whether you're in the South,
you and I go preach at, every once in a while, every month or two, they get a new person in the door, and that's a big day if you get one new person in the door.
And when I get share about baptism stories, and people are just gosh. So just continue to be the steadfast people group that God is making us to be, because it's working. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
This was fun.
Good to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll keep doing it.
Let's do it.
All right.